Muhammad Umar biological video. Please subscribe and share and like the video. Ask the question for answer and about the artwork. Thanks. In this video, we will talk about the cell introduction. That's the basic introduction of the cell. The study of cell is called cell biology. Is the basic, and there's physiological and anatomical structure unit of the animal is known as cell. And the first of all, the Robert Hooke basically is 65. He prepared a micrographia by its own cell making a microscope which show that the comb like hollow appearance of the wood. He prepared and studied this section of cork, dead plant wood material, which that show the hollow structure of the honey comb like structure that is present. And he said that the cell is the hollow inside and the honey like structure is already done. He explained about it. So next is the another scientist which the 19th century, after the 19th century, Lawrence Oken 8005. He prepared he says that the all living beings originate from or consist of vesicle or cell. His concept is very good and very reasonable, and in this time also people knows that the human is made up of cell and its reality that's showing the reality, but he is a minor knowledge to explore the knowledge about the cell. Basically is the originate from or consist of vesicle of cell. So he says that the vesicle or sometime the vesicle produce of the cells of vesicle of cells that is originate from. He says that the cell is originate from a minor, so it means it's correct because the bacteria is produced and bacteria evolutionary process to give a another cell which that are prokaryote to eukaryote. So that's important. And next we will talk another scientist that is known as Jean Baptiste de Lamarck 1809. He 1809 he says that nobody can have life if its constituent part are not cellular tissue or are not formed by cellular tissue. So it means he says that the nobody can have life without life it's never possible if its constituent part are not cellular tissue are not formed. It means that without cell is not possible the life. So there's the major concept about the Jean Baptiste de Lamarck. And the next one is the very interesting, that's the Robert Brown. He changed the life, he changed the cell theories due to the identification of another. He says that the nucleus is present. There's a Robert Brown 1831 that says that reported the presence of nucleus in the cell. So Hooke idea was flop because the Hooke says that the hollow structure, so Hooke idea will be flop, and there's the hollow convert into nucleus. Yes. And another is the German zoologist Theodor Schwann 1839 and a German botanist Sheldon 1838 working independently. They work independently, not together, and come out with an amazing theory called the cell theory. That's the basic important cell theory. So their cell theory is very strong and very explainable. So according to this theory we will discuss is here. The cell consists of three basic part: nucleus, we know in this time, and fluid. What is the fluid? Cytoplasm, which the plasma that is are present in between the nucleus and cell membrane, and surrounding the nucleus and an outer thin covering of our membrane, that is a plasma membrane. Cell wall, they said, additional structure are present in the plant cell. That's the basic I know that's made up of cellulose. And another we will talk about the all living organism are composed of cell and cell product. It means everything is produced. For example, the synovial fluid is produced, that is a non-cellular, and that's produced from the cell product. So that's correct. And another we can talk about the another salivation or another glands produce the hormone that's produce the cell product basically. So here the next is the Rodolphe Virchow. 1855 he discovered the another thing that's going very important. A cell were formed only by the cell division of division from pre-existing living cell. So it means the cell are present in previously and reproduce, and again we are here due to the previous cells. So that's important, and he is very explainable and very amazing idea to the Rodolphe Virchow is 1855. And the next is the another scientist which that are August Weismann, which that are with the 1880 a living cell arise from common origin. Because cell is basic similarity, it means the cell is similar to each other. So cell is basically similar to each other. So it means if cell is similar to each other, it means it's a common origin. So common origin mean one thing is arise from that things that place, and it means that is the place we can explainable, and that's the origin. So it means a point which arise. The cell is not only structure but also functional unit of living organism is also explained about that. And now we will talk about the how to examine resolution of eye in human the cell. So human eye can't analyze the cell because their power they can basically 1.0 millimeter. That is very amazing. And the lens is eye lens cannot be analyze the things which that are too much smaller, but microscope is we can analyze because there is 500 time more resolution as compared to the eye, and very smaller things which are impossible to watch into the eye due to the not resolution, that's microscope can analyze and watch due to the magnification of lens. There's magnification of lens. And human eye 1.0 millimeter can we can watch their things, but resolution is 2.0 micrometer is the possible. So in this process, in this study, the another is salient feature of cell theory is produced, which there are three postulates. All organisms are composed of one or more cells, and second, all cells arise from pre-existing cells, and cell is the basic structure and functional unit of unit for all organisms. So that's important. So next is the we will talk about the electron microscope. The electron microscope is high voltage and electron gun is used for dispersion of electron, and first condenser lens and third and second and third also, and there is 2 nanometer is very high resolution. The 2 nanometer object can be watched due to the fluorescence screen and camera. There's the production of electron which that make an image to produce a whole beautiful cells. A beautiful environment is very cellular level and small atomic level atom and molecules. So that's very amazing and very interesting in the electron microscope because it's the making the graph making the diagram of the so their cell is structure is like that. It's the animated. So here is the nucleus. We will talk about the nucleus. The cell is nucleus, composed nucleolus, and chromosome, and rough endoplasmic reticulum and smooth endoplasmic reticulum. So rough endoplasmic reticulum means the rough endoplasmic reticulum mean contain the ribosome, and smooth endoplasmic reticulum mean not contain the ribosome too much. So what is ribosome? Ribosome is the basically two subunit which is responsible for the production of uh, uh, combined to messenger RNA or transfer RNA to produce protein by the combination of amino acids A site, E site, and P site. P site is between and A site is here, and there's 80 and 60 to 50, basically 60 to 40 as square per unit is combined to give a ATS. So here is the unit membrane which that are sandwich-like structure is upper part is globular protein, and between the phospholipids layer are present is the recently discovered. And the next is further classification and analyzing the whole fluid mosaic model that is known as. And here is a fibrous extracellular and inner side and outer side, and here is the filaments of cytoskeletons that are shown in the figure. Inside and outside is the fiber of in extracellular matrix, and here is the glycoprotein which is composed of glucose. And another thing I want to mention it, another thing is the basically there is a protein which is the integral protein and intrinsic protein and peripheral protein. There's the integral protein is basically that protein is floating just like a iceberg. That is iceberg mean glaciers will broken down and floating on the basically ocean, and that's the like that floating of the protein. So here is the basically hydrophilic outside and hydrophobic inside region, and their exocytosis and endocytosis occur, as well as another thing is the channels which that allow to water, sodium, potassium, magnesium, and iron is coming inside, and calcium in coming and outside and via a protein channel that is known as using ATP is known as active transport, as not using ATP is known as passive transport. And if the concentration gradient, that's known as diffusion, and osmosis, there's a semi-permeable membrane if are present, that's known as osmosis. And diffusion is the another topic we will discuss in later. And in plant cells that made up of cell wall, as well as the difference is the chloroplast are present in green color which that are composed with chlorophyll. And the chlorophyll importance is that there's a grana and intergrana and thylakoid membrane, inner membrane and outer membrane that is mentioned in shown here, and stroma and its own genetic material, and he is giving the light and water and carbon dioxide to produce the sugar, and the sugar and oxygen and water. The sugar go inside the mitochondria. There's another organelle which produce 36 ATP by a one sugar. That's important things. And there's a powerhouse of the cell that's produced energy via a glycolysis. That glycolysis is that is known as mitochondria. That glycolysis is produced and Krebs cycle occur, and electron transport chain will be occur. So here is another organelle which that are double membrane organelle which give a protein to cis phase to trans phase to maturation of protein. That's important and easy to understand. There's a maturation of protein and go exocytosis into, and that's known as Golgi bodies, and Camilo Golgi is introduced it. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe my channel and watch another, share it.